Sorry about that, we got interrupted. I'd gotten a phone call coming through. So let's look here. Just want to make sure everything is not left behind so that when I lift it, I'm not peeling off any letters. So watch this. See that? Look how beautiful. It is gonna be so pretty. Oh, this is the part where I get so excited. So I don't know if you guys all know, but before I did this, many years ago after my divorce, I actually worked for an interior decorator. And the company was based out of Seneca, but we would travel clear up in the Chicago suburbs, Princeton, and we would basically decorate and design model homes and different houses. And so I loved that job. I fell into it. My aunt is an actual interior decorator too, so she was working there and got me on. And I had never done anything like that. My mom was always really good at redecorating and loved to change things up on our houses that we'd grown up in. But I never had actually done it. I never had any schooling for it. So I started that job and became a design assistant. I worked there for probably a little over a year and then left that. And I ended up actually settling in and working out of Bloomington Normal area. And I was actually working for a cemetery corporation. Since I had done that work in Florida years ago, it was something that was comfortable and that I actually loved. I love working with families and helping families. So I worked there off and on for about 13 years. And I had had an accident and kind of just everything in my life changed. I had a traumatic brain injury. And for a couple of years, I kind of just floundered. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do anymore. I wasn't satisfied with what I was doing. I was always gone on the road. I was driving in between Bloomington, Champaign, and Streator. And I did that for a couple of years, and I just was really burned out. And at the time, my aunt was working for, it was Flips. She had taken it over, and she was actually in charge of Flips at the time, and she had come in, somebody had dropped off a bunch of like used furniture, and she had called me one day and said, why don't you come up here and pick a few things out, take them home, do something with them. So I went up there and picked out a few pieces. The very first piece I did was a chair, just a wooden chair, reupholstered it, painted it, and I couldn't believe it. I posted it and it was sold like in a matter of hours. And that was it. I was totally addicted and just in love with it. And I studied and spent hours learning and trying. And here I am 3 years later, almost 4 years later. Excuse me. Now I'm actually a business. I have my stuff in Urban Soap Shop on Main Street, and I work mainly from home, but I do actually go up to the shop occasionally and paint some pieces up there too. Carrie is wonderful to me. She likes it when I come up there and actually paint. It can be interactive because people usually end up coming back and seeing what I'm doing, which is fun. So, and in our industry of painting furniture, there's a lot of furniture painting groups online. Everybody is so helpful to you when you're first starting out. Well, maybe not everybody, but the majority of them are. If you have a question, you can always reach out and ask. And a lot of the people who do it are all about building up and helping each other. There's competition, obviously, but really, we're just excited to see what everybody creates. And what's fun is, like, somebody might have the same identical pattern as you do, color scheme, but each one is slightly different. No matter, if you have the same materials, each person's going to make their own style out of it. So that's what's fun about it. So let's reveal a little bit more. Look at that. It's getting there. See, it is some work. Like I said, you just got to keep kind of going over it. And once this is lifted and I've got it all peeled down, they call it burnishing, I think is the name of it. And you have to go over it lightly with some sandpaper. Just helps the transfer to stick and adhere. And then I will go over it with the top coat by Dixie Belle. On this one, I'm gonna use a nice satin top coat because it should have a nice sheen to match everything. So, but we're getting there. You just wanna take your time and go over it so that when you do lift and peel, you're not peeling any of the letters off. So let's see. Oh, it's gorgeous. It just adds so much to this piece, which was already really pretty. This paint is gorgeous. And so on the rose, again, you're just gonna rub and try to create, see, I don't know if you can see or not, but right now I'm kind of creating a nice air bubble, and that takes away some of the pressure of having to push so hard. Because you don't want to go so hard that you're kind of damaging the paint that you've just put on. So air bubbles are your friend. But I know there's been a lot of people with interest in the transfers, so I thought I would get on here and kind of do not an actual live, I did a recording, but I wanted to show you how these transfers work. And they come in all different styles, and there's some different companies out there that this is basically what they make because there's just such a demand for them. And then they're always coming together and coming up with new ideas of what would be beautiful, what people might want to use. There's a new release coming out this summer. I cannot wait. Living for the new releases. I think there's going to be some really good farm ones, which I love doing rustic farmhouse looks too. So this is looking really good. Just gently peel to make sure everything is adhered. Oh, it's beautiful. So let's keep peeling. Oh, it's gorgeous. There you go. Isn't that beautiful? So I will go over and I will touch up like anywhere I might have scratched with my little stick here. And like I said, I will burnish this and I will use a light sandpaper and just go over it, and then also with my fingers. But look at the colors on that. Is that not beautiful? Let me see if I can get you out of here.